check mark that I have for the rest of my life that Bill calls me dude. If you guys all want to turn and wave at Alex Winter, we have a webcam set up in the projection booth, and he can see us. I'm probably just a little speck to you.
Yeah. Hey, you guys.
Well, so I feel like I might have played my hand a little bit by having you here, Alex. And so we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A about the movie, but we're only going to play one of the Bill and Ted's, and I think that I have this argument with people all of the time, and I think that we should settle this here and now, Alex Winter, because I need to reinforce this to people all of the time, but we're only going to play your favorite Bill and Ted. So if you could pick your favorite Bill and Ted, that's the movie we're going to show next. What are we going to watch?
That's really cruel.
I meant no offense by it.
I mean, good people may really want to watch the first one.
But what's your favorite Alex Winter? We're going to watch Alex Winter's favorite. You're guest programming a movie.
Didn't I just tell you?
Well, I think that was it. Just could you not say Bogus Journey? Did you not want to say Bogus Journey out loud?
Yeah, my favorite is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which was originally called Bill and Ted Go to Hell, and I like them both a lot. I really do.
Well, and I know you haven't been able to watch with us all day, but what's funny is we just watched The Devil's Advocate, and then we followed that up with Constantine, and I think we're now completing the trilogy of Keanu Reeves fighting the devil.
Well, then perfect. I mean, we totally fail it, and we don't even make an attempt to fight the devil, but perfect anyway.
So I'm gonna ask you some questions about the movie, and then I'm gonna ask you as many possible questions as I can about Bill and Ted 3.
We're like the devil's morons. That's like.
Well, yeah. So what you guys made Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? You know, it's this success, and you guys have these like ridiculous characters. Like, what was the genesis of going? Where can we take these characters? And you guys were like, well, what about heaven and hell?
Well, yeah, it would be unfair for me to take credit for that. That was
No,
Chris and Ed.
Nobody else is here. It's all yours to take.
Yeah, Chris and Ed, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon wrote both the movies, and we're all tight friends. Still, we were really close back in those days. And after the first one's very shocking success, we all got together. It was a few years after we'd made the first one because it took so long to come out. We thought, well, what the hell do we do now? We didn't really want to make another one. We wanted to make something just radically different than what we had done before. And the guy said, well, what if you die and go to hell? And we were like, can you run with that for 90 minutes? Because we're totally down. So, I think the idea in general was to just subvert the idea of a sequel as much as I remember. These were like post 80s, early 90s movies, and there had been like sequels to everything, sequel, kind of like today, only different. And so we thought, how do we do something that doesn't just feel like, oh, you're picking up with our guys a little bit later? How do we totally subvert pretty much every aspect of the first one? And that was sort of without being just doing it for the sake of it, still making something entertaining. But that was kind of the idea. And we all brainstormed. I remember that we had dinner one night and talked about the hell idea, and then just sort of riffed on all kinds of stuff. And the grandmother came up with the Easter Bunny, and I don't know what we were smoking or what was going on, but we ended up with Bogus Journey.
Well, whatever you were smoking, I certainly hope that you have enough left, because I'm very anxiously anticipating Bill and Ted 3. But just keep it on Bogus Journey for just now, so I can maintain some sort of level of professional composure until I just start fanboying at you. So obviously you have fond memories of these films, otherwise you wouldn't be willing to talk to us about it. But what is one of your favorite contributions to Bill the character, and what's one of your favorite memories from making those two movies?
Oh man,
You say crop top is an okay answer.
Neither Keanu nor I are from the West Coast, and neither of us had ever been to San Dimas ever when we made those movies. And we both lived in LA, and I was living in Venice, and I was living in a building with a bunch of skaters. And I pretty much cribbed all of Bill from these skaters. So, and skaters in Venice in like the 80s. These weren't like, rich kids. This was like pretty close to street kids, actually. So I like the kind of scrappiness that Bill has, that came, I think, just from cribbing the way these skaters interacted with each other. The sort of genuine, the sincere scrappiness. And, Reeves plays Ted also very sincerely, so I think that works well together. All the memories are great. We were really young and stupid. Now we're just old and stupid.
Go on.
We had a lot of fun together. We really, we were in every scene together, and when we were done on set, we would just go back to one of the other's condo and just hang out until and then we get up and do it all over again. There's, I think my memories are just, sort of hanging with a favorite brother. The people on that set were really close, and so my relationship with Keanu, my relationship with the directors, the writers, whatever. It wasn't a movie made by people with huge careers at that time. It wasn't made for a lot of money, so my memories are just very familial. We really were like a tight band of brothers, and we had a really good time on both of them, actually, even though the second one had a bit more money. It didn't have a ton more. So I'd say just the kind of family bonding aspect of it, which you don't get all the time in the industry at all. Often it's very kind of cold and professional, which is fine. It's the way it should be. But the Bill and Ted movies were very familial, and we did have a really good time making them. So they really, in my mind, sort of fit in my own past as a big chunk of the end of my youth and beginning of my adulthood, such as there ever was a beginning of my adulthood. So it's kind of a broad answer, but it's a broad question. So
yeah, fair enough. So speaking of kind of that familial, close-knit group that you guys had, because you're friends with the writer, director, you're really good pals with Keanu. What was it like for kind of a veteran actor like William Sadler to come in and you guys are like, I need you to play the most ridiculous version of death ever. Did he just jump in, or was he just the consummate professional, just nailing it? What was that like?
Well, both. Billy is an amazing actor, but he's also loved the script and the characters and did just jump in. So we had a really great time. That didn't happen with every actor. Just because some actors would read the script and just think it was, they wouldn't think it was funny. They would just think it was incredibly stupid. And they were, I wouldn't say they were miserable, but they came in and did their job and left. I won't mention any of them by name because they're not alive anymore, and their character is Ed Solomon's name backwards. But they weren't. They were pretty miserable. And if you watch Bogus Journey now, knowing what I just told you, they're miserable and
It's exactly what we're going to do.
When we weren't shooting, this person who shall remain nameless would say things to me well, it wouldn't even talk to me. It would talk to us like we were just two morons that didn't even deserve to be separated and treated as separate identities. And he would just say, "You boys are squandering your opportunity."
I have no idea who you're talking about when you do an impression like that.
So Sadler was just the opposite. He was just having a great time, and we used, I used to have been Freaked, and we'd worked together. There was a bunch of people that all sort of worked together before and after that, and Sadler was one of those.
Well, and then, so I'm going to have to ask one, at least de facto, just pure Keanu question. So I'm very sad that you could not be spending this day with us worshiping your friend, which isn't by no way means weird. But if you were to be here today, what is your favorite Keanu Reeves movie?
River's Edge, man. River's Edge, no question.
Good answer.
Yeah. I love that movie so much. I love his performance so much. I wish he got to play characters like that all the time. I just love that movie. It's amazing. It's kind of a perfect movie.
Do you ever have that conversation with him? You're just like, hey, just watched River's Edge last night. Just needed to call you and tell you you're great in it.
Yeah, no, he knows. He knows when I like his performances and when I don't, and vice versa.
Wait. Good follow-up question now, because you teed that up. What's your least favorite Keanu Reeves movie?
I don't know.
Which is the one that you had the hard conversation with him about?
Yeah, it's not that. It's a hard conversation with Twitter that I'm going to have. Keanu wouldn't give a shit what I said. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I know that you guys have been these lifelong friends since you guys made this movie, and I guess the de facto question that everybody has to ask you that you are now obligated to answer is, how far along are you guys on Bill and Ted 3, and when can we cross our fingers to hope to see it?
We are about 10 years and 3 months along on Bill and Ted 3. We concepted it on my deck at my house, which I now don't even live in anymore, in 2007, me and Keanu and Chris and Ed. The guys went off and wrote a script. We brought in Scott Group, who produced the first two, who's great. Then we brought in Dean Pariseau to direct. Then we brought in Steven Soderbergh to exec produce. And now we're like super close to getting it made. But it's been a ride, and it will definitely, once we're shooting, which looks like it could very well be relatively soon. The story of how we got here is pretty insane, and will be told.
Yeah, I met you through pure happenstance because I tweeted about Mr. T and Freaked, I guess like 3 or 4 years ago, and then you tweeted at me, and then I jokingly tweeted back, "Do you want to come to Austin?" And then you actually answered my phone call after that, and then you were in Austin, and I remember you telling me that it was in development since then. But now that we're kind of farther along the way, can you give us any sort of tidbits or like log line actually, you know what, just tell us the entire story of Bill and Ted 3, and then obviously you're going to scale yourself back to probably, hopefully, more than what I'm actually asking.
Well, I mean, at this point, a lot of the plot has, I would say, been given away, but the log line is pretty much out there. It has been for a while. It's kind of a Dickensian story meets, Interstellar with idiots. Yeah, how's that for? Now you know why it's taken us 10 years to get it made.
Is that on the cover page that you just slide into the studio? It's Interstellar for fucking idiots.
Yeah. It's a Christmas Carol meets Interstellar with morons. It's two middle-aged guys who are very much like they were when they were young, but who life is life and it's happening to them, and they are adjusting to some aspects well, to some aspects not so well, and the destiny that was sort of foisted upon them by Rufus has actually not come to fruition the way that they were told it would. And not that we necessarily care so much about that, because we love our families and our kids and all of that, but we're not, the most successful people on the face of the planet. And we are then told by people who shall remain nameless that we have basically 24 hours to find the song that's going to save the universe, or there will be no universe. And so it becomes incumbent upon us to get our shit together and figure this out, which requires certain things that I don't want to give away in order to go into various areas of space-time to figure out where we are in total fuck-ups, basically.
Well, are you guys far along to where you guys are casting? Is there any kind of like, I don't want to say a William Sadler-like character, because obviously you guys have done death, but is there like who are you most excited about that's been cast?
Well, Jesus is pretty funny.
Who's Jesus?
Jesus is a guy who lived like 2,000 years ago.
Guess I set myself up for that one. Well, who's your modern, who did you guys find to play Jesus, though?
Yeah. I'm not telling you anymore.
No, I didn't know how far I could push, and literally I found your no-fly zone, and that's fine. Well, I can't thank you so much for joining us. It was very nice. I actually have a surprise for you, Alex Winter, because you were so nice to do this. I realized that nobody's actually made a proper, screen-accurate Wild Stallions hat. So I made one for you, and so whenever you come to Austin, or if you want to email me your address, I'm going to mail you one of these Wild Stallion hats, so everywhere you go, people will not just go, "Hey, there's Alex Winter," but they'll also go, "Hey, there's Bill." Hopefully it finds a place of pride in your home.
Thank you so much. And, I have just a drawer for it. I need a place for it.
Well, I will also say it was not cost effective to make one of them, so I made 200, so everybody in the theater is also getting one of these Wild Stallion hats.
Awesome.
So if you see people around Austin, Texas wearing one of these hats, you can feel free to stop them and just apologize for anything that you said today.
Down south by again. I'm doing a panel on one of my new docs in March, so I'll be down that way in a couple months.
Well, coffees and cigars on me.
Thank you, sir. I'll take it.
Before we go on this epic bogus journey, is there anything that you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
It's a very crazy. You've probably seen it before. It's a really weird movie. I love it. It is so close to my heart. Hollywood hated it, which made me even happier. And I get to play my grandmother on 7 hours of makeup. It's fucking awesome. I hope you have a good time. And I'm sure, Keanu was super jazzed you guys are doing this. He's off overseas and getting John Wick 3 going, and he's super stoked. So it's great that you pulled this off, Rick.
Thank you so much for being with us, Alex Winter. Be excellent to each other. What a swell guy, huh? Fun fact about Alex Winter, he saw me tweet that I was going to be doing the Reeves-olution and then sent me an email very nicely and said, hey, are you trying to get Keanu? I'll go, yeah, no, I'm trying to get Keanu Reeves to come to the marathon. And he was like, well, you just send me an email like you're sending it to Keanu and I'll get it to Keanu. And he was nice enough to I literally sat in front of a computer going, Dear Keanu Reeves. It was the most awkward thing in the world to write, going I'm throwing a party for you, will you please come? And then knowing that Alex Winter was going to read it before he sent it to Keanu Reeves. He was nice enough to do it. It was just very sad that timing did not work out, because I was like, I'll move this thing around wherever we need to go, but John Wick 3 apparently is more important than our little party here. We did get Alex Winter today, so thank you.